Hey guys, that Horror Critic here, and today we're going to be talking about Halloween 2, More of the Night He Came Home. It's a 1981 film. It's directed by Rick Rosenthal, and I believe some scenes were directed by John Carpenter. It was written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Once again, John Carpenter delivers a good script, but it does have its flaws this time around. Whereas the first movie was pretty flawless, this one has some visible flaws, and he has admitted that yes, he was stuck in a rut because he didn't really want to do the film, so he drank a little bit, and that you can definitely tell that was there some. But still, nevertheless, I believe Halloween 2 is a classic of horror cinema still, and a great follow-up to Halloween. I mean, I don't think Halloween really needed a sequel, but if it did, this was a good sequel. It basically continues where the first one left off. Not gonna say where it left off, but basically Michael is still following Laurie, and you know, he ends up at the hospital with her, and that's pretty much the plot. Basically, he's just trying to hunt her down. We learn some new stuff. We learn that yes, Michael Myers and Laurie Strode are brother and sister. Once again, another thing like how Carpenter was drinking on. You can tell, yes, definitely. But one thing that I do like about this movie is that this movie feels as if it's an exact continuation. It feels like the same movie, basically. And I mean, it was made 3 years later, but it still feels just like the first movie, which is great. The opening title sequence, like the same font, all that stuff, it just feels so good. And once again, the actors return from the first movie that survived, like Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasence's characters, and a few new people are added in the bunch. Lots of people in the hospital are killed. This movie tends to try to be more of a slasher movie, where it has Myers killing people, and it's shown in a lot more detail than it was in the first movie, which definitely lowers some of the movie. But I mean, still a great movie, classic horror film as well. In this movie, Myers is played by Dick Warlock. He's a stuntman this time instead of your regular Joe Schmo that Nick Castle was in the first movie. So he seems a bit more robotic, but still, it's a good role that he plays. And Myers is definitely, the mask looks different. It's made the same way. It looks different though, and it's probably the way that it fits his face, because it's a different actor, of course, and you know, just subtle differences between the two masks. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely does look more creepy in this movie. Something about, there's a lot of darkness shots and him fading in like the first movie, like where he injects one of the nurses with a syringe right in the side of the, like right in the temple, I suppose. Yeah, and it's a good close-up, you know, really trying to cash in on the gore there. But whenever he fades in, that looks really creepy. Like the lighting of like the tank or the water that's like glowing back, this yellowish color on him. It looks really good. And the mask is a lot grimier and stuff. And I'm gonna say that's because where he fell and where it was shot, all the stuff he's been through. It looks really good though. Not too much to say about this movie. It's a good movie. It's definitely better than a lot of, you know, the basic slashers that just deliver us formula over and over again. This is still a step above those type movies, and it's kind of bad it's pretty bad in terms of like releases. This movie hasn't been released many times, but finally, thank God, somebody's releasing it. Shout Factory releasing a Blu-ray of it, of 2 and 3. Thank God, because the last Blu-ray sucked. I hated it. So hopefully this time we'll get something good. So far from reviews, it looks great. But that's Halloween 2. It's a classic slasher movie still, and so far this series has been flawless. So let's see what Halloween 3 can bring to the table for us next time, guys.